Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our Career Day. It's an event that we look forward to every year. So welcome to everyone for joining on this cold winter's morning. And then welcome to PKF, our special guests today. My name is Louise Maritz. I am the academic coordinator on the postgraduate program. I work alongside Tracy Kraus, the HOD. And then this morning we're joined by PKF, who's going to take us through their firm and why you need to sign up with them. I'm going to ask you guys to hold on to your questions. They have indicated that they'll address it at the end of the session. But if you feel you're desperately wanting to type something in the chat, you're welcome to do so. They will just get to the questions at the end, as in when they can. The session is also recorded so that we can refer back to the session and also refer back to the information that was shared in the session. I'm going to hand over to Bridget, who's going to take us or kick us off. Thanks so much. Bridget, over to you.
Thank you so much, Louise. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're really excited to be online with Molpark this morning. Thank you so much for your time. Before I start, I actually just want to quickly introduce some of my colleagues. Everyone in the call is in a different part of South Africa. So we do have Nikki Smith on the call. She is from PKF Cape Town.
Hi, everybody.
And with Nikki in the same office, we've got Carleen. I don't know if Carleen is there.
Hi, everybody.
And then, hi, Carleen. And then we've got Martley Ace. She's also in Cape Town in Constantia Valley.
Good morning, everybody.
Hi, Martley. And then also by the coast, we've got Samantha Senecal and Zalnay Rousseau. They're in PE.
Morning.
And then bringing it back to Gauteng, in Alberton, we've got Anishka Kutsia.
Hi, everyone.
And then in Pretoria, we've got Clarissa Buerta. I saw she's wearing our PKF jacket. Love that.
Loving the jacket and hello and welcome, everybody. It's nice and cold here in Pretoria, though. So
Thanks, Clarissa. Not sure if I've missed anyone. Please do let me know if I have missed anyone. I think I've introduced everyone. So I just wanted everyone to kind of know that we do have everyone across South Africa on the call today. So if anyone is close to where you're originally from, please do not be shy and do reach out to us. So today, ladies, thank you for joining. And then to everyone else that's joining, thank you so much. We are going to be covering the path towards qualifying as a chartered accountant. So just kind of giving you an idea what to expect on this journey of becoming a CA, and then how to set yourself apart from everyone else when you do actually go the route of going into interview processes and everything. So let's start off with a little bit about who PKF is. So as I mentioned, we've got people across SA. We've got about 8 firms in South Africa. I think the only firm that's not on the call today is George and I think Durban, if I'm not mistaken. But we've got people across, or firms across South Africa. I'm from Johannesburg. I'm at PKF Octagon. As mentioned, we've got PKF VGA, PKF Pretoria, PKF Cape Town, PKF Constantia Valley, PKF PE, PKF George, and Durban. And we have a global footprint. So we're in 150 countries, yes. 150, which is great, which means that we do have opportunities for secondments. We call our PKF, our secondment opportunities PKF Go. And then we've got about more or less 70 partners and directors. We've got over 370 trainees with close to 1,000 staff members, over 400 offices worldwide. And yes, we're part of the top 10 accountancy firms globally, not just in SA, also part of the top 10 in SA. So literally, we are a very reputable network of firms. If you do want to consider a mid-tier firm, definitely PKF should be on top of your list. So let's go into the journey of qualifying as a chartered accountant. So we obviously have opportunities within SAICA. So SAICA is the South African Institute of Chartered Accountants. It's South Africa's preeminent accountancy body. It is widely recognized. So globally, SAICA is recognized. It is the world-leading accounting institute. The institute provides a wide range of support services to more than 50,000 members. 50,000 members, hey? And associates who are chartered accountants of South Africa. So being a chartered accountant opens up multiple opportunities. I'm sure you guys have heard this. This is the reason why you are studying towards your BCom, your Bachelor of Accounting Sciences. So because of the opportunities that are endless, that are amazing, and the money as well. I know the money is also part of the reason you probably selected this, studying towards your chartered accountancy. It is the number one designation in the world. So number one, we beat the UK, we beat Australia, we beat the US. So the South African chartered accountant is top tier, creme de la creme. So you definitely want to qualify as a CA. So what is that journey? What does that entail? So first and foremost, you have to obviously complete your matric. Can we go to the next slide, next? I don't know if it's me. Maybe I'm lagging on my side. Is it working?
It's
sorry.
showing.
Is it showing on your side?
Yes.
Maybe can everyone see the next slide? Maybe it's just me. Okay, now it's changed. Thank you so much. So obviously then you before you joined Millpark, you were in your matric year, so you were studying towards, or you were completing the subjects, your accounting maybe. Some people I know weren't doing accounting. Sorry, Nix, I think it went too far now. I think because it was lagging, that it went way too far. So you had your matric, and your matric, you had your math, you had your accounting. Some of you guys decided after matric that, listen, I'm actually going to go back and try accounting. So you needed your math, you needed at least a basic understanding of what accounting is, and all of that. So then you looked for an institution and you decided on Millpark. And then thankfully you guys did qualify. You didn't meet the requirements, and then you decided, okay, now I'm definitely going to start studying towards my Bachelor of Accounting Science. And yeah, it's a 3-year course. It's not an easy course. I think already you guys can determine that, listen, this route that I've decided on is quite intense. It requires a lot from me. So then you're on your journey towards your completing your degree, your Bachelor of Accounting. Next, can you go 2 slides ahead? Sure what's happening. Perfect. Thank you. Perfect. Yeah, we can keep it there. I'm just not sure if anyone is not on mute. If you can kindly mute yourself so that we don't have any issues with everyone else hearing the presentation. Thank you so much. So then you studying towards your undergrad, and now you're like, okay, I'm definitely still going to go towards qualifying as a CA. So there's an additional year now. So now you need to focus on getting accepted into your postgraduate diploma of accounting sciences. And that's where your core focus will be on your accounting, your audit, your tax, management accounting, all of that. I think that is probably the most intense year. Everyone that has qualified as a CA has said, I could never go back to doing my honors because it was just that intense. So you need to make sure you have a very good grounding, a very good understanding of your undergrad studies in order to apply yourself properly in your honors. So once you're in your honors year, everything is now incorporated together. It's no longer siloed. It all affects each other. So you need to think broader when you actually apply yourself in your studies. Don't silo in terms of how you actually approach your studies. Even with the exams, everything is incorporated together. So just make sure you have a very good understanding, a very good grounding of your undergrad studies so that you can apply yourself better in your postgrad. So then in your postgrad year, you hopefully then get or have applied for a training contract for future. And then you can, once you pass your postgrad, your PGDA, then you've got your IAC, your first board exam. So this is as you're just about to start your articles, you write your first board. It was previously called ITC. Now it's IAC, Initial Assessment of Competence. Previously it was a 2-day exam. Now it's a 3-day exam. A lot of people have said they prefer the 3-day exam. They feel like it kind of gives them more time to prepare properly and apply themselves properly. So yes, then you write your first board exam, which is your IAC, and then hopefully you get that. So that means you just left with that kind of 2 steps, because then you go into your articles. And then this is where you're applying all the knowledge that you've gained in your 4 years and applying what you've written in your board exams into every day of work. So now it's the knowledge that comes in, but not only the knowledge. What's important is your professional behavior. And if you carry yourself professionally, and if you are confidential in how you approach things, you are objective in how you approach things, and you use integrity and professional competence and care, then you'll do well. You can't just think, I apply everything I know, all my knowledge, and then I'm fine. You actually, it's a certain way as an auditor and as a future CA that you carry yourself. So then you complete about 20 months of your articles, then you write your last board exam. Hopefully these 20 months have prepared you quite well. Before you write your board exam, actually, you have your APT course that you need to do. So the APT course is kind of preparing you. It allows you entrance into the board exam. So if you pass the APT course exam, they've got an exam as well, then you can qualify for this. So the board course, I think, takes about 6 months, if I'm not mistaken. Ladies, please correct me. It's not 6 months. It's a couple of months though. And then you write your APC. All right. So once you write your APC, then you pass that, and then you, in your final year, your final year of articles, you've carried yourself with integrity, you with professional behavior and everything. Then you qualify. So essentially, you've taken 7 years to qualify as a CA. I always say that a CA essay is the finance doctor, essentially, because it does take that long, and it is really rewarding. I know a lot of people say it ends with CA essay. I believe it only begins there. So this kind of helps you prep yourself for the rest of your professional career. So then you qualified as a CASA. So guys, this is just an overview of how you can qualify as a chartered accountant. It's all these different steps. It does get tough. We're not going to lie, regardless of where you study, regardless of where you work, it does get intense. But you need to remember that end goal, where you see yourself one day. And being a chartered accountant is not something to be taken lightly. So you need to push on. You need to remain having that positive attitude, that hardworking mentality. All of that, eventually you'll get there. And don't forget, no man is an island. So please use people around you to ensure that you get to where you need to be. All right. Okay, cool. So on to the next slide. So just to kind of cover up, so what I've just covered now is the 3-year training contract, but then you do have 4-year and 5-year training contracts. So if you are someone, or if you know of someone that just after completing their matric rather wants to become a chartered accountant, they've got an opportunity to do a 5-year contract. These are limited. Usually it's the smaller firms that would offer such an opportunity. Some mid-tier firms do as well. But then you need to ensure that if you do start a 5-year training contract, that means then you continue to study. You cannot take an academic break, unfortunately. So SAICA does require an academic progress from all trainees. So you have to continue with your studies. If you're on a 4-year training contract, so that's, let's say, your SAICA endorsed qualifications. So a BCom accounting, that's not necessarily a chartered accounting degree. So that would be a 4-year. You still need to do your bridging. You haven't done the bridging towards your more SAICA accredited degree. That would be then a 4-year contract. And then so that's the difference, is that you do have a 3-year, and usually that's when you've completed your Bachelor of Accounting and your postgrad. You'd be on a 3-year, but then these other ones would be more of the 5-year, because you haven't really gone the more traditional route. So this is obviously the practical component. It's getting you ready as a chartered accountant, and you apply the knowledge that you've gained through your studies in your day-to-day. So the partners, the managers, they'll come to you and ask you about certain standards and what your thinking is, because your knowledge is more fresh than theirs. They qualified 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So they definitely will come to you for advice and knowledge, and you need to be able to still apply yourself in the world of work. Just to also highlight in terms of other opportunities, I think that's the next slide, next, eh? that we do offer on our side. Okay, so before we get there, I'm a bit excited just to tell you about other opportunities. So in terms of learning and development, that's something we really do take seriously. There's constant training on our side. So you will definitely, as a trainee, get opportunity to go on a course called Freshers. That's the technical component of training that gets you prepped for your day-to-day as a trainee. So Freshers is very important. There's constant training throughout the year in every single year. So even in your second year, then you go to intermediates training, and as a senior, you go to seniors training. And then there's just constant training throughout the 3 years. And there's certain topics as well. Standards always change. So I think the risk team really does take pride in how we do apply our learning and development, as well as the learning and development team, just how we ensure that we impart that knowledge and all the information that's needed. But you always have a team with you. So you've got your managers, you've got the more senior trainees, you've got the partners. So there's always someone there to guide you and show you certain ways to apply yourself. So don't stress and think, oh my gosh, I'm all alone. As I mentioned, no man is an island. There's always someone there to assist you. Okay, and then I think the next slide was about the kind of opportunities. Yeah, so this is what I just wanted to highlight in terms of other types of articles you could apply for with PKF. So we are limited with the other ones. Mostly we do look for those who want to qualify as chartered accountants. So every single firm offers CIPA articles. But then you would find that we do have CIPA articles, very limited though. So our intake wouldn't be as big with CIPA. So the firms that do offer CIPA articles are PKF Durban, PE, VGA, George, Pretoria, and PKF Octagon. And then every single firm looks for CIPA trainees. This is our biggest intake. So this year in total, all the firms included, all our trainees are about 150. So that's more or less how much we take just across the nation with the intake. And then we've got ACCA articles with PKF VGA, and then tax articles with PKF Octagon and PKF PE, and then PKF Cape Town does offer CIMA as well. Okay, I do see there are several questions that have come through. We'll get to your questions at the end of the presentation, okay? So just qualifications to consider. So if you are studying towards your CIPA or interested in getting into CIPA, you need to have your BCom accounting degree. You don't necessarily need your honors. Then we can consider you with a BCom degree. If you do have your honors, that's also fine. And then as mentioned with CIPA, on our side, we do prefer that you come in with your postgraduate diploma in accounting or have at least attempted it. It's not necessarily, I know it's quite difficult, so we do understand that year can be tough. If you at least have attempted it and know where you went wrong and know how you're going to go about fixing it, we can still consider you. And then with tax, you would need your tax honors, your PDIP and tax. And then Anushka, with your ACCA, what would the requirement be on your side?
It will most likely also be SACA related accounting degree, guys, or also just your general accounting will also be fine when you want to transition over to SACA as well. So just making sure that you're studying towards your accounting degree, please.
Perfect. Thanks, Anushka. And then Nikki, on your side for CIMA?
CIMA will just be your normal management accounting undergraduate degree. But if you do come in with your honors, then obviously that will be first prize as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Awesome. And then on to the next slide, Nikki. Perfect. Thank you so much. So why would you select PKF South Africa? First and foremost, we've got the whole team here. So we are a national team. I think, as we mentioned, our team is very big in terms of our learning and development. So it's very, very important, the kind of CAs that we put out there in the world. So basically, the national team is really supportive. We work together. We do our best to ensure that everyone is getting the right kind of exposure, learning and development experience. So definitely. and then the exposure to the wide range of industries. My gosh. I think we do everything except for banking and everything except for your big insurance companies. We literally touch on everything. That's the lovely thing about being a mid-tier firm. If you're someone that's entrepreneurial, wants to start your own thing, wants that kind of exposure, wants to be more of a generalist. I always say, if you don't want to specialize, you kind of need to figure out, do you want to be someone that specializes? Then I definitely understand why you'd go to a bigger firm, because that's where you'd specialize. But if you want a more generalist approach, want to understand businesses, want to understand the SME markets, definitely then consider a mid-tier firm. We've got study leave support. So important. We, at the end of the day, we want you to qualify as chartered accountants. There's opportunity to continue study further. We will definitely support you in that aspect. You don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, I need to take study leave. Does this mean I don't get leave? Do I take unpaid leave? No, no, no. You're definitely going to get study leave support. We are internationally recognized as a firm. So we top 10, as I mentioned in the beginning, globally, not just in SA. And a lot of our people have actually gone for opportunities overseas. I've got a couple of people who have left for Europe, New Zealand. I think one person left for the US, the UK. So, and everyone else has definitely in their firm had someone go abroad. So there's definitely our quality of our trainees and our learning and development is amazing. So definitely would get the international opportunity and the secondment opportunities as well. As mentioned, we've got PKF Go, which definitely is an opportunity that people do apply for. All right, on to the next slide. Okay, so these are just our contact details for the different firms. So if you are interested in maybe an opportunity for training contracts, be it any one of them that we've listed, your site, your SICA opportunities, ACCA, CIMA, SIPA, please do maybe take a screenshot or take a picture of the contact details. We also do have an opportunity for virtual VAC that will be taking place from the 30th of June till the 4th of July. So if you are interested in maybe joining the virtual VAC, we will be running it as PKF Experience, actually. That's what we refer to ourselves as. PKF Experience is the grad opportunity aspect from the PKF South Africa. So PKF Experience, we will be running the virtual VAC. So you can continue being at home and getting a lot more exposure and industry knowledge and networking with different people across South Africa. So please take a picture and then we will get back to you. Please do so today, actually. Please send all your documents, your CV, your ID, your matric, and your full academic transcripts. So I'm actually going to open up to the floor. I think I'm going to ask the ladies to please maybe answer one of these questions. I'm not sure who wants to go first. So we've got frequently asked questions. So that will cover, I'm not sure if those did come across in the chat. Nikki, do you want to go first? What happens if I fail a year?
Yeah, so if you fail a year, obviously academics is important. It does get you where you need to be and opens up a lot of doors. But it's not the end all and be all. At PKF South Africa, or Experience rather, we look at the person as a whole. So we find out what the situation was, why you failed the year. When it comes towards failing PGDA and you are signed with us and you are set to start the coming year, then we do provide opportunities for trainees to start with their articles while studying. So we will have a discussion with you. Either the discussion will go, we will extend your contract for the next year, thereafter, and then you continue with your studies full time, or you say, no, you need to start with your articles for whatever reasons, personal, financial, etc. Can we give you the opportunity to start with your articles while studying? Then that will be provided as well. So it's just an open discussion. That's why at the end of the year, when you guys have written PGDA and Mopak has sent through your exam marks, to let us know immediately so that we can know exactly how, if you will still be joining us, you've passed, so that we can, if you passed well, celebrate it with you as well. Next
Awesome.
question.
Thanks, Nikki. So in terms of working and studying, I'm not sure who wants to take this question. Martli, would you like to take this question?
I'll take that, yes. Yes, you can, but should you? Yeah, so we understand that not everybody can afford to study full time. So at PKF, we prefer you to at least have, especially in the smaller firms, I know the bigger firms want you to have at least attempted your PGDA, but in the smaller PKF firms, we even just want you to have a degree. So in my case, I'm from a smaller firm. Most of our trainees are actually still studying. But having said that, that is not the easiest way of doing things. So don't stop your studies and start working just so that you can earn money. The only reason why you should actually study part-time while working is because you don't have the finances to finance your studies. But yeah, it's absolutely possible.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Martli. Clarissa, I'm going to give you the next question. Which courses do I need to have completed before starting?
Larissa, you
Sorry, you're on
sounds-
mute.
Oh, cool. I'm so sorry for that one. Apologies. The courses, do you mean what courses at university or?
Just outside. I'm so sorry, just outside of your studies. Are there any additional courses you'd suggest?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Excel. If you can make yourself an Excel expert, you will distinguish yourself in the field. So I would really recommend doing an Excel course. And then obviously the accounting package your firm would be using. So in the case of PKF, I think we're all on caseware. Hey, that would also be something you can acquaint yourself with before you start. That would be the two most biggest courses I would recommend for you guys. So yes, that definitely.
Awesome. Thank you, Clarissa. I'm not sure if anyone else is here. Anishka, did you run away from me?
I did. I'll take the next one. I don't want to do the CV one.
Oh, okay. Remote work. I'll do the CV one.
Okay. Hi everyone, Aneska from VGA. So remote working, I know some of the PK firms actually do have a hybrid approach still where you can work from home. But the bigger PK firms, unfortunately, you need to be at the office or the client every day. So it depends on which office you apply to. But also, again, I always say, don't be scared to ask. So that's how I would say with remote working. However, when you do remote working, even though you get into a different firm and you have the option to do remote, it takes a lot of determination and you need to be disciplined with that as well. So don't go get lazy and go take a nap in your lunchtime and those types of things. So that's what I would say. Please feel free to jump in, ladies, if I miss something.
I can just add there that remote work sounds very wonderful, and it can be, but in a training environment, it's much better to rather be in the office, because I see our trainees, they are constantly huddled in little groups assisting each other. And that just becomes so much more difficult when you work remotely on your own from home. And I realized that over the COVID time, I spent most of my days, I'm the HR manager, almost consulting and supporting students or trainees who struggle on their own. So it's much better to rather go into the office and get that support from everybody.
Thank you, Martli. Thank you, Anishka. I definitely echo your sentiments, Martli. I think we really struggled with we call them COVID babies. They really did struggle in terms of just grasping the knowledge and experience they needed. So definitely I'd prefer that you build the network, build the relationships, understand what's needed before you start working from home. But I don't think anyone's fully remote. It's just that, as Anishka mentioned, it would be hybrid. So what we're looking for in a CV, I will cover in the next part of the presentation. So I won't answer that question now. Nikki, if we can go to the next page.
Yeah, it seems there's definitely a delay, but it is showing on my side.
There is, hey?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I think we'll just leave the Q&A for the very end so that we cover everything first. So yes, so this is basically going to answer the questions about your CV. So how do you set yourself apart from the rest? This is when you're applying for opportunities, and this is when you going for an interview process. All right, so your CV must-haves first and foremost, very important when you do a cover letter. So I think also just check if a cover letter is needed. Just keep it brief and concise, very unique and specific to the company. Some people repurpose a cover letter and then you see it immediately as you're reading it. So please do make it specific and unique to where you're applying, as to and why you are the best candidate for the role. That's what it should be. Yes, Nikki?
And then also just make sure if you're applying to several firms, when you send the cover letter and you mention a specific firm, to make sure that it is directed to the correct firm. We do
Yes.
get a lot of CVs where they send or apply to PKF, but it is for one of the other firms, or they mention the other firms within the cover letter. So just a quick side note from my part. Sorry, Bridget.
No, that's fine. That's perfect. Yeah, it does happen actually. So yes, definitely. Thanks, Nix. And then next part is your personal information. Ensure this is all true, it's all correct. I can't mention how many CVs I've received and the numbers are incorrect, and these are old numbers. So getting a hold of someone's very difficult. So please just ensure when you do include your personal information, it is all correct. And qualifications, just start with your highest, it makes sense. And then go to the lowest in terms of where how far you've qualified. If you're currently studying towards something, that you can also include as well, and you'll just keep it at your highest. And then achievements and initiatives you've taken part in, achievements being in terms of the team or sports that you've done, in terms of leadership roles you've taken on, any student bodies you've been a part of, anything literally that where something you're proud of, please do include that. Achievements in terms of your studies as well, if you're golden key, include those kind of things as well. It's important to see. Work experience, at this point I'm assuming who we're dealing with, majority, not everyone, you do have some sort of experience in terms of you studying part-time and you working somewhere. Please do include it. But if you don't have any work experience, but you maybe have worked at a restaurant or you've worked at a shop, please do include it, because it shows that you do have some sort of soft skills where you've dealt with different types of individuals, you've dealt with pressure, you've had to plan, whatever it is. Those things are important. Make it easy to read, and please do send it in PDF as well. Okay. And then just on the next slide, I think this is maybe what you shouldn't have. Just want to see. Perfect. Thank you. So just ensure you don't have any spelling mistakes. We see a lot of those, a lot of typos. I know it happens. We're very busy and we rush and we try to get things out quickly, but please just triple check, quadruple check if you have to, ask someone else to check. There's always an issue. Sometimes people ask someone else to put together their CV. You need to, regardless of whether you paid this person or not, to put together a CV, please just double check that it is correct. Not necessarily, you don't always have to include a cover page. So that's why I said, if you are applying for something, see if a cover page is important. No, necessarily a cover page with just your name there, Bridget Booker, and that's all I have. No, we don't need that. No unnecessary information. Don't list all your modules. We've got, so you can attach your transcripts, so that's fine. Please don't use caps in everything. It just doesn't look right. So please just use the right grammar. No false information. Picture of yourself. I think it depends what kind of picture you have there. No pictures pouting, no matric dance pictures. I think just something clean, professional, white background, headshot, not too busy. I think that's perfect. And then it shouldn't be longer than 3 pages. Okay. And don't use different fonts and sizes. Yeah, I see a lot of people are laughing at the picture. Yeah, I think a picture, yeah, we've had interesting pictures. Okay, so then you are applying for your opportunity. There's an ad out there. I'm so sorry, I need to cough quickly. So sorry, just had a tickle in my throat. So then there's an ad. You obviously first look at the ad. Is this the right kind of opportunity? Do you see yourself there? Is this the kind of opportunity you're looking for? Does this suit where you see yourself in future as that qualified CA? Is this aligned with where you see yourself essentially? So yes, that's I guess where the self-reflection does come in. And then you Google questions as well. So Google questions, you can Google the top 5 questions. You can Google 50 questions. There's literally an endless list. And then research the company. And research doesn't just end at the website. Research is literally everywhere. You can go into YouTube, you can go into social media, you can read up on reviews. There's literally so much out there where you can find a lot on a company. LinkedIn, everywhere, literally. And then obviously you'll dress appropriately. You'll be in your jacket if you've got one. If you don't have a formal jacket, that's fine. Just a nice formal shirt and a tie if you've got, and smart pants. Ladies, just a lovely dress that's professional. And then, yeah, it doesn't have to be super high heels. It can be court heels that you're in. And then just ask what you can bring with you or what you need to prepare. It always helps. Some people also love bringing a most updated or the most recent copy of their CVs and they just hand those in when they come for the interview. Some people will just send it just a few days before just to say, in case you don't have the updated CV, this is it. And then just do the research on the person that's you meeting with, Google their address and ask for the route. If you do have the opportunity, if you can drive there the day before, a few days before, just to get an idea of the route, also do that. That kind of helps as well. Then you know how to get there. And then if you are meeting on Zoom, please just ensure that you do have the Zoom link and then test that in advance. Check the microphone, check that your camera is working as well. And then if you don't have a clean background, please use a nice clear virtual background. Make sure you've got good lighting, stable internet connection. That's very important. Avoid having noise outside, dogs barking, maintenance of the house or whatever it is. Just try find a quiet place. And then dress as if you're going to be there in person. So still do dress smart. It doesn't mean if it's online, you should be in a hoodie. I cannot tell you how many times I've met people in hoodies and vests. So please do dress as if you are there in person. And then arrive early. That's very important. I think if you arrive early, that really does help. It also alleviates a lot of pressure off of you as an individual. So you're not getting there frantic and stressed. And then shake hands, introduce yourself by name, look people in the eye. Please ensure that your phone's off. If not off, at least then on silent. Ensure that nothing's there to disturb you, essentially. If they ask you difficult questions, it's okay to take a second and think and say, listen, this is a really good question. I need a moment and really process it before you respond. Body language is mentioned. Eye contact is very important. Be more open and not folding arms and sitting back like this or looking like you bored or lazy with your hand like that. No, just have proper body language and proper eye contact. Be authentic in your responses. I know that you need to prepare and you probably rehearsed some of the questions and now it does come across like you're reading something. Just try it by all means. Just apply it as if it is something that's fresh and brand new, even though you did prepare for it. If you come across that you sound like you've rehearsed yourself, it doesn't sound authentic. So just be conscious of that. Remember to greet by names. It really is important. As I said, having a copy of your CV is great. A notepad and a pen, that does help if you have notes of questions that you'd like to ask, or if there's something you'd like to note during the interview that they've mentioned that you'd like to remember. And yeah, prepare your questions. Don't be too long-winded. Don't be too friendly or too personal. That doesn't come across professional. Okay. And then at the end of the interview, let the interviewer know why you're the best person. Why are you suited for this opportunity? What is it about you that's unique to you that sets you apart and why you should be selected? And ask questions. If there's something that you're interested that interests you in the firm, or in the opportunity, ask the question. But if you don't really care about the answer, please rather don't ask. But I think just understanding the role better is important. Understanding the team dynamics, understanding the team, those kind of things are important. And then thank the interviewer by name. I think that's also quite important, and be grateful. Or even send an email after the whole day just to thank them. That really does set you apart. So some questions to think about. So when someone says, tell me about yourself, we'd just like a brief background on you. Where are you from? Where did you study? What did you study? Tell us a bit about your family. Are you an only child? What do your parents do? Hobbies, what do you enjoy doing in your spare time? Where would we typically find you on a weekend? What are you learning? What's new that you're learning? So that's a little bit about yourself. And then strengths and weaknesses. I always say weaknesses. I'd rather say areas of development, because you can develop as an individual. So maybe consider that when you're interviewing. Always talk about how you're trying to improve your weakness. I think that is something quite important. But no man is perfect. As long as you are trying to improve, I think that's what matters. Where do you see yourself in the future, in the next 5 years, next 10 years? Where do you see yourself as a qualified CA? Why are you applying to this company? What interests you about PKF? Why do you see yourself here? Why do you want to be a chartered accountant? And if you do have any work experience, think about what that's taught you. Think about how you can apply that as a trainee, how that can set you apart as a trainee. Also, it helps you in terms of problem solving. Maybe you've been in situations where you've had to deal with conflict. How have you dealt with that? How have you dealt with pressure? So think about all those things. And then, yeah, give us details about what you learned in those situations when you have been in those kind of situations. Not sure if there's any more.
I secretly popped our QR code in there, Bridget.
Great. Thank you so much. Perfect. So if you want to...
Sorry to interrupt on this
Sorry,
one. I just want to
Clarissa.
get in. No, I just had Madam's cool.
No, that's
I just wanted to, I think it's more of a cultural Afrikaans thing, but just some interview tips. When you are Afrikaans person, you cannot meet the partner and call him oom, or meet me and call me Tannie. It's fine. I know I'm a Tannie, but it's Mr. or Mrs. If you don't want to call the person on their name. I think it's more of a Afrikaans cultural thing, but especially in emails. If I get an email saying, hello, Tannie, I mean, we know, but it happens. And I know some of our partners take offense when you call them either Tannie or So it's just a tip I would like to put in there as a Afrikaans person. So cool. Okay.
Thank you, Clarissa. That's important. And I didn't even know that happens. So thanks for bringing that up. I think what I've experienced on my side from an African culture, it's very, very disrespectful to look at someone older in the eye. It's almost like you're challenging them. And our expectation is in the interviews, you need to look us in the eyes. And respond, because then it's disrespectful in the professional environments that you're not looking us in the eye. So it's quite interesting that it's all so different. So yeah, African culture, you look someone older in the eye, you are challenging them. You shouldn't be doing that. But yeah, unfortunately, you'll have to kind of adjust that, guys. In the professional environment, it is important. I don't know if there's anything else you ladies want to mention. That's quite interesting. Something to be conscious of in your interview process or when you address someone.
No, I'm good. I think Clarissa and you mentioned both sides of the story. But yeah, it's nice to get those insights into the different cultures and what we expect with an interview, etc. as well. So yeah.
Awesome. All right. Okay, guys. So we will get back to you. You'll scan the QR code, all the details that we need from you. If you can complete that, and you'll select which firm you'd like to contact you. As mentioned, we do still have our virtual VAC taking place on the 30th. So if you can complete that today, that would be great. Is there? Okay. I think then I'm going to go into the chat box. There's a lot, actually. Sure, there's so many questions. Okay, I'm going to the very top. I see a question about accessing the slides. Will we be sharing our slides?
I will share our slides with Handy and the team, and then they can distribute it as needed.
Okay, so someone asked about not going the conventional route. If they started with a diploma, then an advanced diploma in accounting, then finally CTA. When do I qualify to start my articles at PKF? Sibonga Mandla, at this point, if you are currently in your CTA, year of CTA, then you can definitely apply for 2026. Just obviously apply to whichever firm that you'd like to be considered. So yes, we do sometimes have people start off with the diploma instead of a degree. It does happen, definitely. Okay, do you also accept people who are working but want to switch to doing articles? Hilda, I think it depends at that point how far you are with your studies, but we do have people that do have previous work experience and decided now they want to become chartered accountants and switched over to starting over in articles. If you are if you are permanently employed, you just need to consider the fact that you will take a huge salary cut. Unfortunately, we won't consider the fact that you've worked and now will up your salary. You'll get a trainee salary. So maybe take that into consideration. Sibonga Mandla, 4 or 5 year training contract. Do any of the firms offer 4 or 5 year training contract?
We have
We
some
do.
firms, Nikki. Can you quickly go back to that slide? No, I don't think we have a slide where we say which offices offer the 4 or 5 years. So I can say PK VGA does, and Matley, you say you do.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Victoria also does offer a 4 or 5 year.
Yes.
Maybe next, if you can go back to the contact details with the email addresses.
I can maybe just add here that the 4-year contract would be people who have a general BCom degree or even a music degree or a higher diploma. They consider that as a 4-year degree. If you are still studying towards your degree, then you will be on a 5-year. So typically somebody straight from matric who is studying through UNISA will go on a 5-year contract.
Thank you, Matley.
And obviously when you graduate, you get a little bit of time off. So depending on where in your contract you do that, yeah.
Perfect, yes. Thank you so much, Matley. So we also had someone start with a marketing degree. So then they had to go on a 4-year. So definitely. Does PKF offer funding for bridging ECTA? I don't know if any of the firms offer funding. Nothing at this point.
No.
Unfortunately, funding is quite difficult. So nothing on our side. Does PKF offer June intakes? So with PKF Octagon, only if you have your CTA. So if you've written your final exam now and hopefully pass, then we can take you in. I don't know if any of the other firms have June intakes.
Yeah, we also have that. Obviously, traditionally, we preferred the Jan-Feb intake to have everybody on board at the same time. But now with Millpark having a June intake as well, we do that now, yes. But you have to have your PGDA or attempted it.
No one else. Okay, so it's just Constantia Valley and Octagon at this point. As Philemon, we've mentioned that we do have VAC. Do you guys have VAC? Okay, so people are asking about VAC, so please do apply for that. To emphasize the question from Sibonga Mandla, does PKF offer 4 or 5 year contracts for students in their undergrad? Okay, we've just explained that, and mid-year intake we've explained. Beyond psycho competencies, what structured technical training do you provide trainees in the year 1 versus year 3? Who would like to take this question?
I'll take that. So during your 3-year contract, we have what we call core courses, which is the technical training, and that's a week-long course. So in the first month or so after you started, you go on the freshers course that we talked about earlier. And then at the end of your first year, you go on the intermediate course, which is also a week-long course. And then at the end of your second year, you go on a seniors course. But all of the different, we also have our L&D committee, Learning and Development Committee for PK South Africa, have what they call a mandatory training schedule. So that is also technical training that we are mandated to do, and everybody must do it. And then all the different companies or firms in the PKF network also, when we work on audit and we pick up that there is a technical issue that people need more training on, we will arrange that, and all the other companies do that as well. So you will be trained, don't worry about that, not just on your competencies, but technical training in general. But the 3 core courses are the main training ones.
Thank you so much, Mark. You covered that lovely. Yes, Anushka?
Sorry, I think we skipped a question. It was the first it was in one message. It was regarding the VAC programs, obviously, and then they asked whether we accept BCTA students as well, or only focus on CTA and BACC. Bridge, I don't think if you want to take this one, but if it's okay, I'll do it. So yes, we do. Again, some offices we offer the 4 and the 5-year contract. So obviously, if you're studying towards BCTA, yes, you do qualify for that 4-year training contract. Again, just check in with the firm. But again, I think it's only VGA, Constantia that offer the 4 and the 5-year, and also Clarissa, you said you do as well. Yes. So
Thanks,
answer to your
Anushka.
question, yes.
Perfect. Thanks, Anushka. Thanks for catching that for me. Does PKF accept non-South African citizens? So at this point, I would say preference is given to South African citizens. If you are non-South African and you do have a work permit, we can consider you, but we can't guarantee. Preference, as I said, is given to South African citizens. If you maybe have perm race, we can also consider you. But yeah, you definitely have to have the right documentation in order for us to consider you. Okay.
No, we don't assist with visa applications. So I know a lot of you guys say, but if you give me a job offer, I can apply for a visa. But the problem is it sometimes takes a very long time, and 6 months down the line, you get rejected for some reason. Then we sit with an illegal worker and we have a gap that we need to fill. And that's the reason why we do not consider or assist with visa applications. So if you have perm res or you have a work permit, which is also not transferable in most cases. So it is basically just perm residents who would qualify.
Thank you so much, Marty. Just what sets PKF apart from competitors? I'm going to just skim through questions. I see you're running out of time. So with us, firstly, you're not a number, as mentioned. So we've got the 8 firms, and between the 8 firms, 150 trainees more or less that we take. So that's about 30 for the bigger firms, 40, and the smaller firms under 20. So you come in as an individual. We know you in terms of your strengths. You deal with the SME market. You deal with diverse industries as well. You have direct contact with the directors in the firm and even with our clients. So that's where I'm going to kind of end it at that point. And then in terms of do trainees only audit financial statements, or are they also taught to how to prepare them? So I think it depends. I don't know if everyone does get involved with that. But what I can say on our side as well is that you would get involved in that, in preparing them with certain teams, and you do get involved a lot with tax as well. So you're not solely focused on just the auditing side. In terms of ACCA, the academic support, Anushka, are you able to maybe cover that quickly?
Do you offer academic support those who want to pursue the ACCA stream? I think I'm going to need some clarity, but in like you will get your study leave like any other psycho trainee, the same rules apply. So we basically treat our ACCA trainees the same as the psycho trainees. So that I can comment on. Financial assistance, unfortunately not.
Okay, thank you. I think next you did explain the SEMA, what the requirements are on your side, hey?
Yeah, just the BCom management accounting undergraduate degrees.
Perfect. In terms of accounting packages, we use Xero. So we package that as PKF Ignite. So that's what we use. I don't know, in addition to that, you could maybe use Sage because of a client. There could be other packages, but Xero is what we predominantly use. Marty, were you going to add anything else?
No, we also just work on Pastel, Simple Pay. That's the accounting packages. Yeah, and Xero.
Perfect. Experience, as mentioned, we're happy with that. So you can come in with experience. That's not something, just consider the fact that you're coming in on a trainee's package. Salary, someone wanted to ask about salary. I would say at this point, you would have to go through an interview process, find out about the opportunity first and foremost. In terms of salary, I would say we are competitive in the market. If you've already completed your training contract and decided to pursue PGDA full-time, what position would you apply for? So at that point, Christoph, you'd probably then come in as an audit senior because you've completed your traineeship, or an audit supervisor with other firms. So it all depends on what the opportunity is at that point. Someone has a BTech in taxation, currently pursuing BCTA. I'd like to know if I'm eligible to apply for opportunities such as psychotrain contract. So as mentioned, Nokola, you need to have your PGDA unless you apply to one of the firms that consider BCTA. Okay. Hanley, okay, we'll send you the slides for that. Someone said, come on, Danny, just understand. Someone's going to call me Mère Bridget. So, yeah. Link. Okay, so someone's next. Are you able to share the link? Some of them aren't able to scan the QR code to just complete.
I don't have access to it now, but I'll share it with Hanley.
Okay,
that's
perfect.
fine.
That's perfect. All right. I'm just conscious of time.
It looks like Nhlanhla already sent the link to the response firm just below that question about
perfect.
Albert's
Yes.
address.
Thank you, Nhlanhla. Thank you. Bookkeeper. Someone's been working as a bookkeeper for more than 5 years, currently doing the PGDA. Currently studying, is the experience considered? So you'd like to to my understanding then is you want to apply for RPL. You can apply for recognition of prior learning, but it's not guaranteed. So it's still a process that you'll undergo. So you could maybe, instead of having 3 years, you could maybe get 2 years. It's all dependent with the application to SAICA. Someone asked about non-CTA articles. As mentioned, we want you to qualify as a CA. So if you're going to do your SAICA articles, you need to do your CTA. IT audits. Someone's interested in IT audits and ESG. As a CA who completes articles. What internal opportunities exist to move into IT audit? Are there mentorship programs to bridge the technical knowledge gap? Secondly, how could a trainee start building ESG skills during articles to position themselves for this growing area post qualification? I think it all depends with the opportunity in the firm. So some firms are very big on IT audit. I think that is with you, Anishka, hey?
Yes, but that is as and when positions become available. We don't actively specialize in that.
Okay. So, well, it depends with the firm. So if there's a keen interest, I think Durban as well, very big on IT audit. So then definitely you can already start having those conversations within articles. We have ESG at PKF Octagon. You can definitely have those conversations and you can on an ad hoc basis assist. So it all depends where you are placed. And if the opportunity is there, you can start having conversation during articles. Okay, I'm just conscious of time. We've got a minute left. Literally. I'll be starting my PGDA in July, hopefully finish in April 2026. Can I apply to start my articles next year, Jan, Feb? Ladies, are you open to it? Octagon is definitely open to that. Anyone else?
Open.
Okay. All right, perfect. So definitely you can apply to all the firms for that. Someone else has a hand up. 2 people have hands up. Okay, I'm not sure who came first. Vele.
Hi everyone, I just joined late. I just want to ask, can I apply using my BCTA Milkbag results?
Yes, you can. Definitely.
Okay, so because I saw with the other firms they wanted the test results. So do you also want them, the first test results?
Yes, yes, yes.
So how do we send them? Do I make a screenshot of the results?
If you can do screenshots, or if you do have them in PDF saved somehow, definitely. So we definitely do want to see your progress in your PGDA. But yeah, if you can send them clearly, as long as you can see what your results are for.
Okay, then we are applying online. You're not giving us maybe your email address to use.
So you can apply online, because then at least we definitely have your application. We don't want your application lost. But what you can do in addition to that is when we had our email addresses put up, you can also then send all your documents to the specific firm with so your CV, your ID, your matric, your transcripts, all your results, and to the specific firms.
Okay, can you please share the screen of the emails again?
Okay, we'll put it up just now.
It should show now.
It's still the path, the first year. Perfect. Thanks, Nix. Neil.
Hi there, sorry, I just wanted to find out basically, so apparently they asked for people doing their degrees and stuff, and PKF takes them on. I am part of the BCTA, but I just wanted to find out, so is there like a mid-year intake? Can we join?
So how far are you with your BCTA? Did you start in January or?
In Jan,
Okay, and 6 months or a year?
a year.
A year. I think it's VGA, Pretoria, and Constantia Valley. VGA is in Alberton. So those are the firms that would consider you for. Nishka, did you say you have a mid-year intake though?
We don't have a mid-year
Not a mid-year.
intake.
We do have one, but not for BCTA, only if you're busy with your PGDA. Otherwise, you have to wait until next year.
No, it's only for the beach.
So
That's
repeat-
what we do.
Okay, is this for all departments, like even Durban?
In terms of Durban, we can't really say at this point. Maybe do contact them still and see if they will consider you. Sorry, they're not on the call today, unfortunately, so we can't really confirm for you. Okay.
Okay, so do we just go through the applying at PKF over there?
Please do apply on our website, and in addition to that, send all your documents to the firm.
I've also shared the email addresses in the chat box. So
Thanks.
if you want to apply or contact any of the firms, yeah, you can use those.
Then I just add at this stage, it's very important, if you do upload your documents on the system, on the website, you will only be able to upload one document. So please combine all your documents into one PDF before you upload it. I don't want just your ID or your CV. I need everything. And you can only upload one.
Thanks, Martli.
Okay. Thanks so much, team. Sorry, I have to cut it off there just in time. But thank you so much for your time, Bridget and team. It was great to hear from PKF. Thanks for sharing all the details. I'm sure that the students will be in touch. You must have a lovely afternoon. I want to be in the afternoon already. It's still morning for some of us. So good luck for your last day of the week. And yeah, thanks again for your time. Looking forward to the next event with you guys.
Thanks, Louise.
Good.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye.
Louise. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Louise. Bye-bye.
Bye.